immortalized.
Well, who will be immortalized today? A national champion will be crowned. Will it be South Carolina or UCLA? As we welcome your starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One. Let's send things back over now to public address announcer Jamie Coffey.
The starter for the Gamecocks. At 4 to 6'3" sophomore from Camden, South Carolina, number 8, Joyce Edwards. At center, 6'6" senior out of Kenya, 11, Medina Okot. At guard, a 5'9" senior from Miami, Florida, 00, Tanaya Latson. At guard, a 6-foot junior out of Albertville, Minnesota, number 5, Tessa Johnson. At guard, a 5'9" senior from Atlanta, Georgia, number 25, Raven Johnson. And now, the starters for the Bruins. At center, a 6'7" senior out of Centennial, Colorado, number 51, Lauren Betts. At 4 to 5'11" senior from Bethesda, Maryland, number 1, Kiki Rice. At guard, a 5'10" grad student out of New Zealand, number 5, Charlie Sledger Walker. At guard, a 6-foot grad student from Duluth, Minnesota, number 8, Gianna Neekins. At guard, a 6-foot senior out of Camarillo, California, number 11, Gabriella Hawkins. And introducing the head coaches for the Bruins, Corey Close. And for the Gamecocks, Dawn Staley.
Even Johnson's emotion in the championship game loss was something she herself carried with her all year long as her friend. How about the seniors today tying a record, just the 3rd time ever we've had 8 senior starters in a national championship game. Here we go, UCLA, South Carolina, a champion crown today in Phoenix. Jaquez on the drive, tiptoes, with Okot on her on the switch. Betts gets the deep catch and banks it in.
South Carolina will play primarily man-to-man defense, but they have the option to switch multiple defenders, and that time Lauren Betts had the advantage on Edwards.
That's the multi-time All-American. Puts UCLA on the board first. Here is Latson. Oh God, will fire. No. He's been shooting the 3 effectively late in the season. Johnson can't lay it in. Raven Johnson comes up with it. Another chance for South Carolina, and Okot cashes in.
And that is going to be a key for success. Anytime you're playing against UCLA and Lauren Betts, dribble penetration, draw the 6'7" shot blocker, and pass to a teammate for an open look. That's what we just saw.
Both Dawn Staley and Corey Close both mentioning the boards to us right away as keys, as Okot able to knock that away.
And this is the versatility of Joyce Edwards as your 4 player, bringing the ball down the floor, creating for herself, will also create for teammates.
UCLA had 23 turnovers in the win against Texas on Friday night, and a foul there is going to go against Okot.
I was oofing the contact 23 turnovers, but they both deserve it. And that's what you have to do when you go against a dominant big, is meet them up the lane, try to prevent them from getting low position on the block.
Ledger Walker splash on a little mid-range. Charlize Ledger Walker, the New Zealander. A transfer from Washington State. Corey Close, one of the best leaders she's ever coached. Okot, no.
A rare time that Okai at 6'6" will be going against a bigger defender with the 6'7" Betts.
Here's Rice. B.P. Rice, another one of those seniors. Jaquez lobbing it in. Betts, the catch and the finish.
That has been a staple of UCLA's offense all season long, since they've had Lauren Betts in a UCLA uniform. When she is high side denied on the block, they will flash a player into the high post and play the high-low.
Good start here for the Bruins, a 6-2 lead. Latson nearly lost it. Weaving, taking, can't hit, but gets the whistle. And free throws here for Tania Latson.
You see Lauren Betts doing the work, fronted by Okai. And so what does the other post player do? You're taught from the time you're young. You flash to the high post, and then you look for that high-low look.
Lauren Betts, UCLA program records when it comes to field goal percentage, blocks, career points in the NCAA tournament. And she has been terrific here in her final tournament. How about Latson at the line in this tournament? So she's 26 of 30, but she is the first player ever in this tournament's history to have multiple games in a single tournament where she went at least 10 of 10 from the line, including what she did in the semifinal win against UConn.
In the last 3 games of the tournament, 21 of 22 from the line. She's getting there at a high clip, and she's making them when she does.
Playing with such poise in her first ever Final Four. Dugalich off the bench on the drive. Doesn't get the roll. Jaquez ups it in. Plus the foul.
Corey Close told us that we would see Dugalich relatively early in this game. They can now switch 1 through 4 in Jaquez. Watch where she comes from. We saw this in the semifinal game as well, Ryan. She starts outside the three-point line. You see her at the top of the screen. Has a nose for the ball, pursues it, and then the savvy to collect and finish while she's getting fouled.
Holly?
The strength and conditioning coach for UCLA told us Gabriela Jaquez's performance numbers were the output of 2 players. She was all over the floor in the national semifinals. He said it was the best he's ever seen in 2 years working at UCLA. She's got that same energy and motor here today.
She is the winningest player in program history. Miriam Dowdy getting early minutes, can't hit, rebound. Controlled by South Carolina, and another chance here for the Gamecocks. Latson, Dugalich all over, popped away. Rice got a hand on it, and the Bruins control. Here's Rice, working behind Betts. Rice on the drive, beats bodies, couldn't finish. Edwards out in transition. Edwards, the Euro, left it short. Rebound caroms to Betts. Here is Rice. Neefkins, catch, fire. Can't hit. Neefkins, one of the better three-point shooters in all of college basketball. 43% on the season.
Both of these teams comfortable playing with pace, but we know with South Carolina, when they can get out in transition like Edwards did the last time, didn't convert, but those are the quick looks they're looking for.
Johnson in and out. And the rebound bounces over to Jaquez. Neefkins lobs it in. Dugalich spinning, fading. Oh, baby! What a move from Angela Dugalich.
When she is aggressive, she can find her spots, whether it's scoring around the rim or getting on the glass as well. That's been a point of emphasis for UCLA with Dugalich. They want her using her athleticism to get to the boards.
UConn also got out to an 11-4 lead on South Carolina in the semifinal, just as UCLA has right now. Dowdy can't finish. Jaquez blasting ahead. Jaquez all the way in. Gets the whistle. And Gabriela Jaquez will shoot a pair.
Dugalich has good size at 6'4", faces up and then spins and turns, gets to her comfortable level, fade and finish.
Dugalich has gotten a lot of attention from WNBA front offices during this UCLA Final Four run, with 4 or 5 Bruins seniors expected to be first-round picks next Monday at the WNBA draft. Jaquez, one of them. You see, she is the winningest player in program history and hits the first free throw. Rebecca, for a team who has not been here, like UCLA, they have looked very comfortable in the early minutes.
Usually you see a team, even a team that has been here before in the national championship game, it takes a little bit of time, a couple minutes to catch your breath. We haven't seen that at all from UCLA.
A 7-0 run for the Bruins, 107 straight points scored by UCLA seniors. And while South Carolina has missed their last 6 shots. Tessa on the drive, hooks it in, plus the foul. When the Gamecocks need a bucket, they go to Tessa Johnson.
And oftentimes it's Raven Johnson making the call, knowing they need someone to settle them, and that Tessa Johnson will.
Started in 1982, and Corey Close has taken the Bruins to back-to-back Final Fours after they had not been in the NCAA era. Tessa Johnson completes the three-point play. And again, that's a theme we've seen all season. We saw against UConn the other night. When South Carolina needs a bucket, they go to Tessa. Here's Rice working behind the freshman Sienna Betts. Rice, mid-range, off the mark, poked in the air, battled by Betts, but Edwards wins it for the Gamecocks.
Raven Johnson has the ball in her hands ahead. Watch for Hawk on the defensive end.
McKeer connects! How about this freshman? She has had 5 double-figure scoring games in the NCAA tournament after she had 3 all regular season.
She averaged under 6 points per game in the regular season at 14 and a half here in the NCAA.
Ledger Walker left alone. Rims out. Rebound taken in by UCLA. And Village getting minutes here for the Bruins. Didn't play in the semis. Ledger Walker. She got it. How about Rena Village getting early minutes for UCLA? Often they do not go to an 8th player.
She did not play at all in the semifinal game. Sienna Betts also in here. Corey Close buying her starters some minutes.
Edwards, no. Okot the rebound. Knocked away. Tessa Johnson gets it back. A 16-10 UCLA lead. Okot left alone. Can't hit. Long rebound UCLA, and it's going the other way. The foul called against Edwards.
Because of the way South Carolina plays defense, you know you can get a flare screen on the backside, and that's what we saw on the last possession. Sienna Betts comes up, sets the screen, McKeer gets caught, and that is why Ledger Walker was wide open for that 3. Corey Close told us even before their game against Texas that they thought they could get that action.
Charlize Ledger Walker, one of the all-time greats at Washington State, scored 1,743 points there. Was injured last season at UCLA. A huge part of what the Bruins have been doing this season. Dugalich lobs it in, and Okot on the front knocks it away. Hawkes had it poked from Johnson, and it last hits the Bruins. It'll be South Carolina ball. Hey, the Frozen Four begins Thursday on ESPN2 at 5 p.m. For more information on upcoming NCAA championships, go to ncaa.com. Entertaining start to this national championship game. UCLA 50% from the floor in the first quarter. After they and Texas really struggled to score on Friday night. McKeer gets it back. Okot? No. And Betts the rebound. Okot now 1 of 6 to start.
She simply just doesn't look like she's comfortable out there right now in the spaces where she's catching it with the defender she has.
Hawkes trying to save it, could not. And UCLA turns it over. 23 turnovers the other night for Corey Close's team. The most by any team in a Final Four win since Kansas back in 1988. But a lot of the UCL players were actually encouraged by the fact they were able to win a game like that. They hadn't been in a ton of low-scoring games, gritty, grinded out, grimy battles, and they felt encouraged that they were able to find a path to victory in a game like that, as Betts having a little trouble there on the bench. So Betts checks out. Meanwhile, Alicia Tornabese, the 18-year-old freshman who joined South Carolina mid-season in Jaquez gets whistled for the foul. We have our rules analyst, D. Kantner, with us today. D, who officiated 26 Final Fours, as you see Lauren Betts saying, I have something stuck in my throat. And D, I know you've liked just the way the officials have set the tone early here today.
I do. I think they've done an excellent job of setting the tempo, communicating to the players, freedom of movement, what they're going to allow in this game. They've been consistent.
With the lineup that UCLA has on the floor, they can switch all 5 positions, as you saw there.
Rice comes in for the rebound. Betts still trying to navigate whatever's going on in her throat on that UCLA bench. Neepkins goes baseline. Neepkins looking for an angle, finds one short. Sienna Betts, no, knocked out of bounds by Black. Stay with the Bruins.
Certainly need to keep an eye on the Lauren Betts situation. She is so important offensively and defensively. The multiple positions that she defends on the defensive end impacts how UCLA guards deny.
Rice short, rebound Edwards. And the Bruins survive these minutes with Betts on the bench. McDaniel off to Tornabeze. That jumper won't go. Knocked out of bounds by Dugalich. It stays with South Carolina. And you see Betts is still trying to work out whatever's going on there on the bench, coughing into that towel. And you can see her saying, I don't know what's happening. You just certainly hope Lauren Betts is okay. First and foremost, her health. And then that she can get back into this game and be the factor that the country knows her to be. Here's McKeer. What a play by Dugalich. Jaquez off the deflection. Neepkins, guarded by Latson, has size on her. Neepkins doesn't get the roll. And Latson the rebound. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Maddie McDaniel scoots in. Can't bank it in. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Tornabeze. It'll be UCLA ball.
But I think it's good for South Carolina, whether it's Latson or McDaniel, to try to get downhill, get some dribble penetration, then you can dump it off to your post for a layup or perhaps kick out for a 3.
UCLA started this game 4 of 5 from the floor. They're 2 of 11 since. Many of those 11 attempts with Lauren Betts back on the bench. Here's Neepkins lobbing it in. Dugalich surrounded. Quick turn. And the finish for Angela Dugalich.
And to sense the double team coming from the middle side and then to go back to the baseline.
McDaniel went too early. South Carolina should have held for 1. And now UCLA will have a chance to as Rice peels out. 4 seconds left. Rice a 3. You bet! What a finish to the first for the Bruins! UCLA ends the first quarter on an 8-0 run. They have an 11-point lead after 1. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley.
Coach Staley, UCLA's come out really efficient shooting right now. What did your defense have to change?
Yeah, we got to disrupt a little bit. Okay, I think we got to play more just inspired. Okay, we got to dictate a little bit more. They're getting to their spots, and we got to do a better job at just trying to be a little bit more physical with them and not let them cut in front of us. So it's just really disciplined defense.
You've gone to your bench early in that first quarter. What do you need energy-wise from your group?
Just a little energy, a little bit of speed, a little bit of scoring. So we got to find the right combination that can settle us down and put some points on the scoreboard and get some stops.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Alex.
And Gino Auriemma released a statement yesterday, issuing an apology, which we will show you in a moment. As second quarter action has started here between UCLA and South Carolina. Jaquez hooking it in. Dugalich laying it home. And the lead is 13 for UCLA.
South Carolina with their small lineup. Joyce Edwards at the 5. They've had a lot of success in limited sample size this year, and they had a lot of success using it against Connecticut as well.
Tessa Johnson able to end the run, and that's what Tessa does. We talked about it before. They go on a run, and they look to Tessa. Meanwhile, Lauren Betts still on the UCLA bench. Latson took a shot. It leaves Dugalich open. Now Neepkins missed the three. No! Got the banker! Some good fortune there for UCLA. Tessa Johnson again! Plus the foul, and a chance for three. We just want to finish that thought. You heard from Dawn Staley saying, hey, I'm focusing on a national championship game. Gino Auriemma released a statement then yesterday calling his behavior inexcusable and wanting to put the attention back on the outstanding play of South Carolina.
And Ryan, Coach Auriemma is certainly wrong in that moment, which he acknowledged in that apology yesterday. And I know he has also since reached out personally to Dawn to apologize. It's unfortunate that it happened. It's unfortunate that any focus was taken off of South Carolina's performance. They were masterful in that game against Connecticut.
And trying to come back here with Tessa Johnson providing the offense. And Betts now back into the game for UCLA. An 11-point lead for the Bruins. Jaquez turns and lays on a great feed from Dugalich. The fingerprints of Dugalich all over this first half.
Certainly, and the versatility of the wings for UCLA, that they can get inside and post when they have a smaller defender.
McKeer, no. Rebound hits the floor. Edwards comes up with it for South Carolina. Raven Johnson, hand it to three, in and out. Tessa, no. And Dugalich the board. Boy, South Carolina's had some looks from three that look good and just rim out. That toss. Not caught, but that's because Betts was being held. And Tania Latson, in this possession you saw, took a shot from Dugalich and still being looked at. I mean, Dean, one quick look at that. Could have been a moving screen there with the way Dugalich was leaning.
Very quick look at that. I wasn't refereeing that play, however, it doesn't look like she leaned a lot. I can't really assess on that, to be honest.
All right. Dugalich. Off to Neepkins, 7 to shoot. Neepkins drops it in. How about this? With Betts on the floor today, South Carolina 1 of 13 from the floor. UCLA now 7 of 11. The Bruins doubling up the Gamecocks. It's 30 to 15. Edwards spins, dishes, McDaniel can't hit. Betts another rebound.
South Carolina forced to go back with the bigger lineup because of the way UCLA was able to get inside.
Betts jumper. No. Jaquez doing it all. Keeps it alive. Ledger Walker, no. And Dowder comes down with it for South Carolina.
How did Jaquez, though, get the original offensive board surrounded by 4 defenders?
7 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for Jaquez. Dowder off on a 3, and South Carolina now 1 of 8 from three-point range.
It feels like South Carolina's taking the shots UCLA wants them to take.
Betts traveled, and UCLA turns it over, just their third of the half.
Gianna Neepkins is such a confident offensive player. Doesn't think anybody can limit what she can do there. The little kicked up foot, fade away. It's a tough finish.
Tania Latson back in for South Carolina. Rebecca, how did the Gamecocks sort of rhythm here against UCLA?
Well, I think having Raven Johnson on the floor is important. You would look for them to run something. You've mentioned it multiple times that involves Tessa Johnson. She's been a good decision maker today. Tania Latson trying to get downhill.
Ravens mid-range is good. Big bucket there for the senior Raven Johnson.
And you see UCLA's ability to switch, and Lauren Betts contesting that shot. That's a really tough finish for Raven Johnson over a 6'7" shot blocker.
Raven Johnson has gone to 5 Final Fours in her collegiate career. And a whistle here against South Carolina.
Raven Johnson is able to get in. This Lauren Betts on her, moves her feet pretty well. Lauren Betts does a nice job when she's a perimeter defender, stays right with her. That's a tough look, tough finish for Raven Johnson.
Well, you see Corey Close goes significantly deeper in her bench in this game. Just saw Amanda Muse getting some minutes. Meanwhile, you see Raven Johnson, second all-time in South Carolina history in wins. Only Victoria Saxton with more. Betts can't hit. Latson the board. Here come the Gamecocks. Latson, little pull-up. Won't rim in. And the rebound caroms out to Jaquez. Rice looking back at Corey Close, giving instruction. Rice into the paint, the kick, Ledger Walker, short, Rice the O-board, and another chance for UCLA.
Keep in mind, UCLA all season long, outstanding offensive rebounding team. When they miss a shot, 40% of the time, they go and get the offensive board.
Betts left alone, connects! An 8-2 advantage and second chance points for the Bruins. Jaquez, little bump on the drive. Betts and Jaquez were there as Latson was fouled.
But they have been here, they've been in big moments, and they certainly came out ready from the jump of this game.
They have won 30 straight games. Longest winning streak in school history. UCLA looking to become just the second Big Ten school ever to win an NCAA title. Our colleague, teammate, wonderful human Carolyn Peck's 99 Purdue team, Stephanie White, is the only current Big Ten team to ever win a title.
Dawn Staley goes to Joyce Edwards, gets her in a very comfortable position, and then now South Carolina extending their defense. Looks like they're in a 2-3 zone. Try to get UCLA out of their rhythm.
Those are the first points of the game for Edwards. 6 on the shot clock. Jaquez with 3, trying to make it happen. Jaquez misses everything, and a great defensive possession from the Gamecocks.
We've seen this all season long from Dawn Staley and her staff, is switching things up defensively to make their opponent uncomfortable. Certainly we saw that
defensive game plan against UConn.
Yes, earlier in the year against Tennessee, they went to a heavy loaded zone and made things challenging.
32-19, UCLA in front. 3:45 to go in the first half. Tessa giving it up. Latson putting it on the deck. Misses the layup. And the rebound caroms off of South Carolina. Courtside at the Women's Final Four presented by AT&T. Jess Sims, Katie Feeney, Alona Marr, and Chelsea Gray sitting courtside today on ESPN as the possession arrow belongs to UCLA. Great pressure there from the Gamecocks.
That's what we're seeing. That's different from South Carolina. They're extending their pressure. We saw UCLA have all kinds of problems against Texas when they extended their pressure as well. Now, South Carolina's pressure is different. They're not full denying the inbounds, but see if UCLA is able to handle it better than they did against Texas.
That's going to be a 10-second violation. They only had 4 to get it over after where the initial held ball happened. And that's going to be a Bruins turnover, just their 5th of the half.
But that's what you're trying to do defensively, right? Just find something to shift momentum, find something to get your opponent off balance. That has certainly been the case the last couple of possessions for UCLA on the offensive end.
In the corner, Edwards. Given space. Edwards creeping down. Twists. Can't hit. Betts the board. O'Connor hits the floor. Betts looking for help. Gets it into the arms of Ledger Walker. Has to get it across again. Now realizes it. Has it intercepted. Latson with Johnson. And Latson lays it in. Plus the foul. No foul, just a timeout taken by UCLA.
Jamming the rebounder initially, making it hard for UCLA to get it over the timeline, and then Latson coming in with the finish. This is the burst that South Carolina has been looking for.
after they had done such a great job protecting the basketball all game long, the Bruins have now turned it over in each of their last 3 possessions, something they've done 3 times all game prior.
South Carolina scoring has given them the ability to set up their pressure.
Betts gets it across with Jaquez. Here is Jaquez. Betts in the corner. Eyes up, out to Rice. Dugalich. 8 to shoot. Neepkins with 7. Rice directing traffic with 4. Down to 2. Dugalich gonna have to hoist. Does. Got it on the rim. Nothing more as Edwards comes up with a rebound. And for the first time in this national championship game, it feels like South Carolina has some momentum.
And it has completely started with their shift on the defensive end to the zone and then picking up pressure.
Watson led the nation in scoring last year. Edwards, no. Rebound Rice looking to push for UCLA. Rice weaving, dishing. Jaquez can't hit. Betts the O-board. They redirect it. Rice will drive and lay it in.
UCLA got the defense shifting, made one more pass, and then Kiki Rice was able to attack the lane that was there.
Kiki Rice having a very poised championship game thus far as UCLA picks up the foul. And coming up, it's the Dove Clinical Plus Care halftime report. There are ladies, Christine Williamson, Andrea Carter, Shanae Agumake. Done a terrific job all season long and been so fun hanging with them throughout this tournament. Neepkins picks up her first personal. O'Cott trying to go in on Betts, had it knocked away. Edwards redirects. Raven Johnson, 5 to shoot. O'Cott given space, can't hit. Dugalich the rebound. O'Cott has struggled from the floor, 1 of 7.
That's because UCLA is making her take shots from uncomfortable positions.
Neepkins fades and drops it in. 7 points for the Utah transfer, Gianna Neepkins. Tessa connects. Executed the 2-for-1 as well.
Heavy dose of that. Tessa Johnson put her in ball screen. She's really good coming off and hitting the mid-range.
About a 4-second difference game in shot clock. Rice, letting it wind. Kicks it out. Dugalich, back ironing off. And a foul on Dugalich. That'll be her second.
UCLA wants Dugalich to be aggressive, but also smart. They want her attacking the offensive glass, but 10 seconds left. This is not a foul that you would want her to get.
Dugalich will check out for this final defensive possession rather than risk a 3rd foul. Raven Johnson eyes the clock. 5 seconds left in the first half. Johnson on the drive, 2 seconds. Johnson doesn't get it off. That'll do it for the first half. UCLA, a 36-23 lead at halftime. As Raven Johnson, Medino, 20-22. Shot just 26%. How do they respond? Seeking a 3rd title in 5 years, a 4th in the last 10. Edwards guarded by Jaquez. Raven Johnson can't hit. O'Cott the offensive rebound and the putback. That is her look.
That is huge for her, and it looked like South Carolina was running a set diagonal upstream for her to get the ball on the block. She didn't, but then got the O-board, put it in. Always helpful to see one go.
Here's Jaquez, lobbing it in. Betts the deep catch and the easy lay.
Jaquez made that pass look easy. That is a tough over-the-top pass to execute.
Neepkins will fire. No. And Raven Johnson the rebound. Neepkins not shy from 3. That's going to be an offensive foul. O'Cott called for the moving screen. That'll be her 2nd personal.
high-low action, and especially when you're getting it over the arms of a 6'6" defender here. Just beautifully lofted over the top where Lauren Betts can catch it and then finish.
And Jaquez in this game, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, done a little bit of everything. Ledger Walker breaks the timeline against the pressure. And a whistle here against South Carolina. Head coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship game begins tomorrow night on TBS. For more information, go to ncaa.com. It'll be UConn against Michigan. Number 3 on Okot, she'll check out. And now South Carolina goes a little smaller. Joyce Edwards to the 5 in this lineup.
Yeah, we saw that a little bit in the first half as well. UCLA try to get Lauren Betts a touch inside.
Neefkins kicks. Ledger Walker can hit. Rebound Jaquez inside. How about Gabriela Jaquez?
They call her all gas Gabs, and you see why. She runs the floor. She gets to the glass. So much hustle to her game.
Deflected by Betts. And then Betts takes it away from Edwards. Here's Rice with South Carolina back. She'll peel out. Ledger Walker has the seam, missed the lay. Jaquez again a factor. Raven Johnson taken away by Rice. South Carolina a little sloppy with the basketball in this third. Ledger Walker, turn it!
And right now, this is the difference in both teams on the offensive end. UCLA doing what they're comfortable doing.
And their fans have traveled well here to Phoenix. Edwards, no. Jaquez gets clobbered by Johnson.
Kiki Ray is able to get out in the lane, reads the eyes, turns. Wow, that's a tough steal. Great look at it. She's smiling, feeling good. Ledger Walker goes to the right corner, hits the shot. The previous possession, Ledger Walker went inside, and that's not really her comfort zone. You know, adjusted her shot midair. Open 3 from the corner, that is comfortable for her.
Her second 3 of the game. Here's Rice against the pressure of Latson. Every single one of UCLA's seniors playing so well in this national championship game. Rice. Dugalich dumps it in. Kick it out. Jaquez. Back iron and off. Gets the rebound. Another chance for UCLA. Dugalich can't bank it in, but gets the whistle. And Angela Dugalich will shoot 12 offensive rebounds now for UCLA.
Yeah, they continue to be dominant on the glass. They're plus 13 for the game, but this is what they do. And it's not just Lauren Betts with her size. You've seen how Jaquez has just been all over the glass.
How about Gabriela Jaquez? 9 rebounds in this game. Her brother Jaime, fresh off a plane into Phoenix after scoring 32 points for the Miami Heat last night. Here to support baby sis as Dugalich misses the second. And McKeer is fouled. Jaime got up. Yeah, her parents are hanging out here. Jaime might have to go right back to the Heat. He was here in the first half. He caught all he could. You see Angela and Jaime Sr. catching the action. Now that foul on Dugalich that is a consequential foul for UCLA, as Dugalich, as Corey Post calls her, is a matchup nightmare.
And on the defensive end as well, she allows them to switch 1 through 4. They don't do that with a smaller lineup.
McDaniel gets fouled by Rice, and Maddie McDaniel is going to shoot 2. By the way, Jaime visited the All-Cast earlier in the game.
He's the guy break. Maybe he's got some popcorn.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't presume to know why he is or is not in his seat.
He's on better seats.
You know, one thing, I just want to take the opportunity to say, what an incredible host city Phoenix has been for this Final Four. The energy, the signage, the atmosphere, the hospitality, all top-notch, and no surprise from a city that has embraced women's hoops long ago.
One of the original franchises in the WNBA was the Phoenix Mercury. They've had consistent success. Now here you see South Carolina again
Extending the pressure,
Yes.
this time UCLA breaking it with a little more fluidity. Ledger Walker. Off to Jaquez. Neepkins on the attack. The pull-up. Short. Jaquez again gets in there. Held ball. And it's UCLA possession.
She's just constant hustle all the time. You see it here once again. Comes in, a knack for the basketball, gets the tie-up.
Neepkins, no. Guess who? Jaquez keeps it alive. UCLA dominating the glass. They are a plus 14. That was Dawn Staley's #1 key to us. That's the catch and the finish.
And that's where UCLA will continue to look against this small lineup. Joyce Edwards doing what she can, trying to fight around and get in front. But it's tough when you have a high-low pass and there's no help-side defense.
Largest deficit South Carolina's faced this season. As Betts comes up with a rejection. Jaquez the lay.